Hi, we're the Lewis family, and our project is called 12 and 12. We're actually taping this from Varanasi, India. Our project is called 12 and 12 because we're taking a year off, 12 months, and going to 12 countries on all 7 continents. And the idea started with Jackson. So Jackson, tell them a little bit about the project.
I was just thinking that we were really lucky to have such a good life, and I thought we should go and try and do something to help the world.
So when Jack came home and he said, "Dad, we have this great life, let's try and make a difference in the world," we came up with the idea of 12 and 12, going to 12 countries and doing humanitarian work. So far we have been to St. Petersburg, Russia, and we worked at a place called Transit, and that's an orphanage for runaway teens in the city of St. Petersburg. And Buck, tell us what your thoughts of Transit were.
Transit was a little cool for me because all the kids liked to do things that I like to do. Gymnastics was fun doing with them, helping them, like playing ping pong, getting beat up, and boxing.
Yeah, we were boxing with the kids, right?
Yeah.
And how about your experience of Transit?
It was really great. All the kids were really nice. It was sad to hear some of their stories about how their parents had died or abandoned them.
So from there we went to Moscow and we took the Trans-Siberian Railway for 7 days, which was an extraordinary experience. From Moscow all the way to Beijing, and that's when we arrived at the New Hope Foundation, which is about an hour outside of Beijing. And it's an orphanage created by a couple from Australia who noticed that when they were visiting Beijing that a lot of the kids were abandoned on the side of the road because of physical challenges. And so they came to China to save some of these kids. And now it's an extraordinary organization that helps thousands of kids with either cleft palates or club feet. And what was your experience of New Hope?
The kids were amazing. It was really inspiring to see how they can be so happy and have such great lives when they have such challenges.
How about your experience of New Hope, Buck?
New Hope sort of was fun for me. It was really fun because all the kids were happy, very happy.
We met one child named Ray Ray who was really inspiring. He had limited abilities with his hands and had no use of his legs, but every morning he would scoot over to us to say hello, and he really won over our hearts. There were so many kids. It was a very difficult time having to leave New Hope, and we know that we'll be back after this trip. After that, we traveled down through Shanghai and Hong Kong and ended up in Thailand, where we got to work with a lady named Lek Callert, who is our hero. And she created an oasis for abused elephants, and we got to work with elephants. And that's the shirt. We got to work with elephants who were rescued from abusive situations. Either they were elephants that were working with logging, or also elephants that were brought into the city for entertainment. And we learned a lot about the elephants. They go through a thing called the crush. What's the crush, Jack?
It's they tie the elephants into a wooden cage and continuously abuse them, not feeding them and beating them with sticks. It's really horrible.
To break them so that they're actually able to work with people. And what we learned about elephants is that they're really wild animals, and it would be so great to see them actually back in their natural environment. The Asian elephant is on the brink of extinction, and this Lek Callert is doing just such great work in that department. What was your experience of that?
Doing the hard work for the elephants was fun for me. Because you get to make their food and help with their needs that needed to be done.
It was a lot of work at the elephant sanctuary. Every day we planted trees, we built fences for the elephants, we cut up food, we fed the elephants, we washed them in the river. It was a really amazing experience. And now we're in India. We've just left McLeod Gums is where the Dalai Lama lives, and we had the great fortune of watching the Dalai Lama speak. He spoke for 4 days in McLeod, and it was just extraordinary to see him in person and to be very close to him and really have that experience. And we also, our work included in McLeod working with political prisoners who are now exiled from Tibet. So we got to work with a lot of Tibetans who are now exiled in McLeod, and the boys and I were able to teach them English. We sat down and did conversational classes with each of the refugees, so that was really inspiring. Now we're here in Varanasi. Behind us is the Ganges, or as they say, the Ganga River. Last night we got to go see the burning Ghat, which is where it's quite an honor to be buried on the in the river of the Ganges. And so these people come and bring their dead, they wash them in the river, and then they burn them on a pile of sticks, and then leave their ashes in the river. It's a sacred river, and we've been really honored to be here. It's a beautiful place, and we leave tomorrow for Mumbai, where we will then be working at a Buddhist monastery, working with the monks there who help the kids in the slums. From there we head out to, we pass through Cairo on our way to Rwanda, where we're working at a school for kids who are orphaned from the genocide in Rwanda, then an art school in Tanzania, then another school in Kenya. We're traveling through South Africa to Australia, where we're working with the Flying Doctors of Australia, who bring medical supplies and medical attention out to the outback to the indigenous people. From there, we are going to Antarctica, and then Argentina, Brazil, Peru, and then our last stop will be Haiti, where we're working at a classical music school for kids in Haiti that was destroyed during the earthquake, that's currently being rebuilt, and we're going to go and volunteer our time there. And then we'll be back in the States, where we'll spend a month in Mississippi documenting some of our own need in our country and trying to help out in our own world. So thank you so much, TEDxCharlotte. We appreciate it.
Thanks.
And as they say in India, namaste.